In reality, it's not like Vader had a lot of fun once he became a Sith Lord. It was all business from that point on. Once he became Darth Vader, he started following orders from Darth Sidious, and their only agenda was to grow the Empire as much as possible. That is, until Darth Vader learned that he had family left over. He had a son that Sidious did not tell him about. Vader thought that the child had died together with Padme, and that ultimately led Vader to the place where he despised the most. The place where he did not return in decades. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, then Ben Kenobi, knew this far too well. And that's why he hid Luke Skywalker on the planet Tattooine, inside the Lars homestead, where Darth Vader, who subsequently hated sand, would never return again. Until this comic issue, where we can see Darth Vader turning more and more sad by the second. It was as if his crippling depression had never left him. He wasn't talking, he was caught in the moment as he stared at the twin sunsets, same as his son did all those years ago, but he was on Tatooine for business purposes only. He tried his best to keep himself occupied. Together with Dr. Aphra, Vader was there to learn more about Luke Skywalker, his son. Previously to him coming to Tatooine, it was Boba Fett who came along and told Vader that the rebel pilot that destroyed his Death Star was called Skywalker. It was right then and there that Vader realized he had a son that he didn't know about. Knowing that he came from Tatooine, he left immediately and arrived at the Lars homestead where he had been a long time ago. A person that he wasn't anymore, and honestly couldn't even recognize anymore. And to top it off, he was with the love of his life. The others were chatting and talking, but Vader was just soaking it in. He was only looking around, knowing full well that his mother's grave is right outside this house. It was extremely emotional for Vader. He was just looking around constantly, remembering his good times with Padme and the bad times too. The anger that was flowing from him once he killed a lot of Sand people, not only the men, but the women and the children too, and he confessed it all to Padme. These pages show it. Vader wasn't even listening to Aphra. All he did was look around. He was caught in the moment. If he thought that he was done with those emotions, well, he had another thing coming as they moved on to the house of his former master, Obi-Wan. Inside, Boba Fett and Luke fought viciously, where luckily Luke escaped, and that's what Vader analyzed. He recognized that his son is still not fully trained, a raw Jedi. If you look at it, it was this analysis that Vader made on Luke is what led Vader to tell him later on,
"The Force is with you, young Skywalker. But you are not a Jedi yet."
His emotions no longer could stay in check. He started talking to a deceased Obi-Wan, saying that Kenobi had 20 years. He admitted that Obi-Wan hiding the boy on this planet that he would not return again was cunning, to say the least, but in training Luke, he was a failure as a master. Not long after, Vader left, but you have to admit that this was definitely an emotional roller coaster for Darth Vader, starting from a home where everyone he ever loved was there at one point in time, from his mother to Padme to even his son. Then the emotions of hate start to take over once he enters Kenobi's hut. It's very revealing to see the Sith Lord still emotional after all these years. This was after the Death Star's destruction, so by this point, Vader was spent on emotion. He had a long time to forget his past, but as we've seen, it will definitely come back to haunt him. And this is what Vader actually missed previously with Luke and Boba Fett. Right at that time, a flash grenade is thrown inside the hut, and it blows up, blinding Luke momentarily. He couldn't see, but behind him was the infamous Boba Fett. He has found his target. Luke could not see anything. Behind him, R2 was stunned as well. Suddenly, he gets hit in the face. It was the butt end of Boba's rifle, which is pointed at his head. He ordered him to stay down. Skywalker. Boba knew who he really was. Luke was pretending Sky who as he punched Boba Fett but ended up hurting himself. His hand was hurting from the armor. First, he thought that Boba was a stormtrooper, while Boba didn't want to waste time. Luke was asking too many questions. Boba again told him not to move as he was approaching Luke in order to cuff him, but Luke knew all too well that if he wanted to kill him, he would have done so by now. Somebody ordered Boba to bring him in alive. Boba was done. He kicked Luke in the face in hopes to subdue and carry him to his ship, but suddenly Luke ignites his blue lightsaber. He's not going anywhere with Fett. Boba dismissed him. He couldn't fight him even if he could see. What makes him think you can fight me blind? A Jedi didn't need to see, according to Luke. As he flung his lightsaber trying to hit the bounty hunter, Boba was trying his best to evade a scattered attack by Luke. Boba stepped back and fired his grappling hook in order to try and capture Skywalker, but Luke quickly cuts it with his lightsaber. Slashes at Boba as he trips over R2. Luke tells him that his armor makes too much noise, but so does his mouth as Boba reveals blades on the side of his hand armor. He lunges towards Luke and cuts him with his blades. "You're running out of options and blood," said Boba. "Put down your lightsaber." Luke was trying to say that Ben would never, but Kenobi was dead. He can't help you anymore. He already has, as Luke prepared for an attack, but Boba shot him in the shoulder. He was getting tired of this. Boba did need to take him in alive, but that meant only breathing. Using only one hand, Luke held his lightsaber, still confident he can take on Fett. He can feel the Force. Boba told him to feel this as he shot his blaster at Luke, but in a stunning twist, a blind Luke hits the blast with his lightsaber and propels it back at Boba. He narrowly escapes the blast using his jetpack as he barrels into Luke and the lightsaber drops from his hand. Both were going for the hill, trying to grab it before the other, but suddenly a box hits Boba right in the head as he falls to the ground, unconscious. It was R2. He had saved Luke from impending doom. In fact, this was the box that they were searching for just before Boba showed up. But of course, tell me, what do you guys think down below in the comments? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.